Good morning, everybody. Today, I'm going to tell you three simple things that you must absolutely do in the year 2026 so that you don't get stuck. And wait, if you're already stuck, that's okay because these simple three things are going to get you out of whatever situation that you're in right now. 2024 going into 2025, I was on top of the world. I was able to complete my goals, right? My goal for 2024 was to finish my book, as you can see in the background, start from inside, finish my book, and to publish it so that it's available for people to enjoy and soak in that word and transform their life. I did that like the last week of December, so I was really happy. But now I have to market the book. Okay, so I have to get the book out to the world, and this is where I got stuck because I spent all my money, so I didn't really budget for marketing. I've spent a bulk of the money writing the book. Yeah, listen, if somebody tells you that it's cheap to write a book, it's not true. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of brain power because you have to sit and think. You have to structure things. You can't just dump things out. People would not read it. They wouldn't understand. They won't enjoy it. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of brain power, and it takes a lot of money too because you're going to need editors. So that takes money. It's not as easy. And there are different kind of editing, but we're not talking about book writing today. So, but that was my background. I didn't budget for marketing. So, 2025 last year was for me to market the book. And because I didn't have the budget, I turned to YouTube as a free means of getting my book out there. Now, this is where I got stuck. I started heavy, I started good. I started, getting myself out there. But when things were not progressing, when there was no traction, I gave up. I was blocked. I was stuck and I didn't know where to go. See, sometimes when we get stuck, it's like, you know how you're looking for something. You're stuck, right? You want to go out, you're looking for your car keys. You're stuck. You can't go anywhere because you're missing your keys. What happened? We start to look for everything. We look under the laptop. We look everywhere. We look in the bathroom. We look in the toilet. It doesn't matter, right? Because now we're frantic. Now we're frustrated. Now we're desperate. We need something to work, and anything will work. And that's not where you want to be. I was stuck for the entire 2025. It took that long for me to finally, by the grace of God, be able to unstuck myself, get out of that block and move forward. And that's why I want to share it with you today so that you don't find yourself in that position. But if you are in that position today, these are the three things that you can do to get yourself out. And listen, no matter how well you are prepared, no matter how well you've equipped yourself, you're going to get blocked. Something is going to come and try to stop you. The key is not for you to be blocked. The key is for you to find a way to break through that block and continue to move forward instead of getting stuck. Number one is to determine. Number two is to define. Number three is to demonstrate. So determine, define, demonstrate. You can think of it as three Ds: determine, define, and demonstrate. So let's go into what they are. Determine basically means set your goal, know your goal, determine your goal. Where are you going? If I'm traveling, right, I have to know where I'm going. I want to go on a vacation. I can't just get into the car and say I'm just gonna drive to Florida. And there are a lot of beaches out there. I'm gonna pick one. Well, you can do that, but you may end up not liking the one that you picked. It may not really suit. It may not meet your need. So why don't you sit down? What is it that I really need? I need a secluded place. I need somewhere that is private. I need somewhere that is quiet. I don't want a lot of people. So maybe you're looking for a private beach, whatever that is, right? So the first thing is to determine your goal. Where are you going? How do you know when you get there if you don't know? And how do you know that you're lost if you don't know where you're going? So, I mean, I think we all know this, but recently, or in the past few years, I hear people saying, just for example, for YouTube channel, or for even a business, just start the business, just turn on the camera. Yeah, we don't want paralysis, so you're taking forever to plan. At the same time, you do need some time to plan. The goal is not to just keep planning forever, want to make it perfect. No, have something on the paper to start with, and as you go, you can refine it. You have to think about it as a dance, like a dance between exercising and diet, right? There has to be a balance between the two. You can't just diet and not exercise. Your muscles, you're losing muscle mass, and muscle mass help you to lose weight quickly. At the same time, you can't just work out and your diet is so poor. You're not going to see the result that you desire. And it's the same thing here with planning and execution. So determine means set your goals, plan where you're going, know exactly where you're going. The second one is to define. And this is where a lot of people miss it, y'all. This second one, I need you to pay attention. Simon Sinek says, start with why. He's so right. You have to start with the why. It is important for you. I mean, and I'm not saying start with the why. It doesn't matter whether you start with it but at some point when you are determining where you're going, you have to know, why is this important for me? Right? Why is it important that I'm doing this and I'm doing it this way and not that way, or not that thing? But the key is to go deeper. It's like somebody you're supposed to rehearse with somebody. You guys are supposed to, you maybe a band group, you're supposed to rehearse something together, and somebody didn't show up. And now you're asking that person, wait a minute, we waited for you. We're supposed to come together and do this. You didn't show up. And the person said, oh, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. Why did you sleep? We're supposed to meet. Did you not set up your alarm? I think, And then the person can say, wait a minute, I was sick. I fell asleep by mistake, meant to call you guys, but I was so sick, I couldn't even do that. So now there is empathy, right? There is understanding. There is no misalignment. And this is why it's important to define. And when I'm saying define, I'm saying go deeper. And a technique that can help you go deeper is the popular technique, the 5 whys. Because you're not just stopping on the surface level. See, like the example that I just gave, about somebody missing a practice. Then you go deeper. Oh, you were sick. Why didn't you go to the doctor? Have you been to the doctor? Now you're going deeper. Have you been to the doctor? And the person says, I noticed that whenever I go shopping and I come back, I have this headache and I just have to relax. Oh, okay. It's not like you were sick. It's like when you go shopping. Maybe there's something there. Have you gone to the doctor? Have you done some research? So now maybe you're even helping the person to go deeper. This is going to help you when those blockers and those challenges come, right? When you're stuck, like when you're looking for those keys. It's the same thing when you're looking for a way out. When things become confusing, when things are not going the way you want it to go. Understanding the why is what's going to help you. It's the anchor that will hold you down so that you don't get stuck, so that you can ride the storm and come out and not get frustrated and lose hope. It is very, very important to understand the why. Because when you understand the why, you understand the emotion, you understand the logic, you understand the reasoning behind what you're doing. Maybe the reason that you're doing it is wrong. Maybe there's another way to go about what you wanted to do. Maybe there's another thing you can pursue. And don't stop at the surface level. Like, just ask yourself one question. Go, what is the implication of? And lastly is to demonstrate. Demonstrate basically means to determine how you're going to go about it. How am I going to do this? Like I was saying, marketing. How am I going to market it? It's very, very important for you to identify these things up front. how are you going to do about it? You don't have to spend the entire time doing this. You want to be quick, but you want to take some time and plan before you go and execute. So in 2026, these are the three things that you must absolutely do in everything that you are planning or that you started to do. Take a time out and sit down to determine, define, and demonstrate how you're going to do the things that you have planned to do in the year 2026. Till I see you next time, take care.